Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to the Super Bowl edition of Bras, Panties, and Sports. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. Happy
Good
Super
morning.
Bowl.
Yeah, happy Super Bowl. Good morning, good morning. You know, back in the day, everybody felt Super Bowl Monday should have been a holiday. Because so many people call out the day after the Super Bowl, so they say they need to make it a holiday.
I have already seen people take the vacation day. so we know what they plan on. You know. And whatever they planning on is win, lose, or draw. All right. Super Bowl Sunday. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. And I don't like lopsided Super Bowls. I like them when they, go down to the wire, where it's like you biting your nails, and at the end somebody gonna be throwing something on the floor. Damn. And others gonna be. All right, this week on Shout Out we have music from Sheila Johnson plus Melvin Leonard. Will they find their shining star? We'll get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Tony Romo wishes he could fly far away from the critics and the rumors his job is on the line. While Romo has faced criticism, CBS Sports President Sean McManus says he feels a lot of it is undeserved. Yet he did acknowledge that Sunday will be an important game for the retired quarterback turned broadcaster. Tony Romo makes $17.5 million as a commentator for the CBS. They signed Romo in February 2020 to a 10-year contract worth $180 million. While Romo earns a $17.5 million salary as a broadcaster, there are additional perks that make the deal worth $18 million annually. Will the real winner or loser of the Super Bowl be Tony Romo? Of all the commentators, is he in the top four? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, Tony Romo, Spitface, is definitely on the hot seat. And the funny thing about it, he's on the hot seat more than he was on it when he was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. As you indicated, Romo first came into that job in 2017. And in his first season, he received so much praise because he was entertaining and he was able to predict the plays before they happen. And now, under this massive contract, and I mean that is a massive contract, all of a sudden now, the man is criticized. He's criticized, and, he's criticized for telling long-winded stories, not preparing for the games, and, he made such a splash predicting the plays. He doesn't really do that anymore, and when he does, he's so far incorrect. He looks like an analyst that doesn't know what he's saying. And, it was quite interesting. At the end of the 2021 season, supposedly the New York Post reported that the CBS executive spoke to him about his color commentary, and currently, obviously, his boss spoke up, Sean McManus, because he's gotten so much criticism, especially from Paul Feinbaum. Paul Feinbaum is the ESPN mouth of the South. He has his own show. I mean, he criticized Romo. He has his own show. A caller came in criticizing Romo, and Paul agreed with the caller. And this is what Paul Feinbaum had to say. Quote, I have no idea how Tony Romo is allowed to be on the air. I mean, he clearly does not know what he's talking about. He used to his first year, unquote. So, you have people really complaining about Tony Romo. And you know what? I listen to Tony Romo, obviously, because the game's on CBS when you look at the game. This is actually going to be his fourth. I think it's going to be his fourth season, fourth Super Bowl that he's called the Super Bowl. I believe it's either third or fourth. But he used to be good, but sometimes, he does seem to be a little bit long-winded with the stories that he tells, and his analysis is not always that great anymore. Sometimes when you are so far removed from the game, from playing the game, your ability to predict doesn't come naturally anymore. So you remember when he first got on the scene, he had just retired. So obviously everything is still there in his mind and everything. He knows what plays are being called. But as he is far removed, you have to do more research. You have to be better prepared. And he's not prepared. He's not preparing. He's just winging it. And it sounds like he's just winging it. So, I mean, this is what people are complaining about. And, the thing is, though, CBS has that 10-year contract. Now, the last person we know who had a 10-year contract, they didn't care. They did fire him, and that was Chucky. John Gruden got fired by the Raiders. He had a 10-year contract. Now, Tony Romo is what? He's in the fourth year of that. He's coming up in the fourth year of that contract. So there's 6 more years on that contract. So I don't know if CBS is going to get rid of Tony Romo, or I have no idea. But they could remove him as the next great analyst comes along. And to answer the question, with the current NFL analysts, I rank Tony Romo as the 5th. I have Troy Aikman ranked number 1. That's what ESPN. NBC Chris Collinsworth ranked number 2. I even got Fox's Greg Olsen ahead of him. And also Amazon Kirk Haberstadt. I have him ahead of Tony Romo. Now, it's going to be interesting, too, to know because supposedly Tom Brady is coming aboard. You remember, Tom Brady is supposed to take over the helm for Greg Olsen, but Greg Olsen has been doing such a great job. It's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to have 3 people in the booth, but we'll see. But Tony Romo, he was probably number 1 when he first came on after the year. That's why he got that 10. That's why they signed him to that 10-year contract, because he was okay, but not anymore. So, Spitface, I have him ranked number 5. Over to you.
Number 5 is not a lonely place when you're talking about the National Football League and fans. First Lady, I think the situation, well, one, I never did like Tony Romo, particularly as an analyst. And, yes, his first year, he seemingly was, predicting how plays went. And I'm going to say the key thing is seemingly. I think it was more the fact that he would even try to predict, and if 1 or 2 of them worked out, so it's like in the course of the game, he might have predicted 7 plays, but only 1 or 2 of them actually went that way, but that's what stands out, and that's what they hype. So, and then the other thing is that I think he really benefited from the rabbit, and may I say rabbit, come on, rabbit, Dallas Cowboy fandom. And he had, because Tony Romo and the chance he could be on a Cowboy game, So I think you got, I think a lot of it came from that, from Cowboy Nation. I just have never thought he was all that good. And Tony going, look, I'm chilling. I got big money. Me and my wife making Skechers commercials. We kind of, we ain't got no controversy going. The home life is cool. The money is coming in, and it's just like, first of all, you trying to make the man work, make him earn that paycheck. Look, it's in the bank. Now, being in the entertainment world, we know how contracts work. And contracts always have an out for the producer and the network, where they can cut bait. And, and so if they sign for 10 years, if you didn't get all 10 up front, guess what? Anywhere along that 10, they got a caveat in that contract where they can cut bait. And, First Lady, I don't really, will the real winner or loser of the Super Bowl be Tony Romo? Other than, it's hard to say a team that made it to the Super Bowl, even if they do not win, is a loser, because there are a whole bunch of other teams that say, well, I'd like to be that let me be the loser of the Super Bowl. At least, I made it. And because some have never even seen a Super Bowl. So if there's a true loser, it could be Tony Romo, because like you said, from the Patriots, we got Brady coming into the booth, and we don't know what that's going to bring. And at least he's a hell of a lot closer to how the game, is going now. But I really think that Tony Romo's days are numbered. I think he's numbered. And First Lady, I agree with you. He's not a top 4, and I say the number 5 is suspect. But when you got Cowboy Nation behind you, you can get a 5. So, well, Tony, you had a good ride. You never won nothing for the Cowboys and made a bunch of money. You made a splash on the network and made a bunch of money. I do not see the Broadcast Hall of Fame for you or the NFL Hall of Fame. And that's not a slight, Tony, because I'll take your dollars. I got no complaint. Make that money, Tony. But it's the end of the road. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Yeah, well, when I rated him among the national ranked TV analysts. I didn't include all analysts, from all the, the number ranked teams from each network. That's how I rated him. So that's why he's 5th of that one. And you're right, he probably isn't 5th, but out of them 5 channels, that's where I put him. But anyway, well, I hope for the CBS. You're right, they do have out clauses. We hope. We shall see, because like you said,
they gotta hope. That's what they do.
Yeah, because like you said, I don't see if he continues. We'll see. Like his boss said, and sometimes you got to read between the lines. You hear what his boss says. This is a big game for him. That tells me something. Tony Romo, you better read between the lines when he says it's a big game for you. You better take it seriously. So we'll see. All right, that's all I'll say. Over to you, Spitface.
Yeah, there's one thing. Fortunately for Tony, fortunately for CBS, the Super Bowl ratings will have nothing to do with Tony Romo.
Oh, absolutely right.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to racism and prejudice with the embrace of love and harmony. We are talking about Lift Every Voice and Sing, being performed by Andrew Day to kick off the Super Bowl. The more we embrace the message of this essentially Christian song about faith and overcoming hard times, the closer the United States will come to truly living up to its ideas. Of course, the MAGA crowd and right-wing lawmakers are poo-pooing the song. Unfortunately, our national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, is a drinking song. I got no problems with drinking songs, but a drinking song. Check your history. It is a drinking song. Lift Every Voice and Sing, like America the Beautiful, convey the spirit of these United States. Has the song taken on a new purpose during these turbulent times? The intersection of football and life is so interesting there. First Lady, I do think that I don't think that the song has taken on a new purpose. I think it's still standing for its original purpose. It ain't backtracked. It ain't, went some sudden transformation. It's still standing for that first purpose. And to the folks in the MAGA world and right wing, now look, y'all hating on Kelsey and his girlfriend. Y'all just some haters, And NFL, don't think that we done forgot about Colin Kaepernick. Now I'm glad that y'all, cause y'all been, y'all been supporting Lift Every Voice and Sing for quite a while, for a few years. So I'm gonna give you that one. But we ain't forgot about Kaepernick. Not that we ain't got the orange Jesus in office. Y'all, kind of getting a little courage again. Okay, we got it. But the song has went beyond, I'll just say, where it's humble beginnings, because because during these times where there's so much misinformation and finger pointing, and and like I said, Kelsey and Taylor Swift got to be an issue instead of something fun. Which are mostly just a fun topic, but that you need something to remind us, and that's what that song does. So that's what I'm saying. And now First Lady will attest that I can't carry a note with a bucket, so my singing is more like humming. First Lady, what you say?
I just, me, I always like to give a little history. Lift Every Voice and Sing was written by James Weldon Johnson. And, when I was just doing a little research, I didn't realize it is a little known Black history fact that the song first was performed publicly on February 12th, 1900, for a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. 500 children at Stanton School in Jacksonville, Florida, sung the song. And guess who? Guess what? The principal of the school was James Weldon Johnson, and he wrote the words, and his brother Rosamond created the music. So, yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting. Well, let me just put it this way. With the aftermath and the controversy surrounding Colin Kaepernick, I'm quite sure you went there, I went there too, Colin Kaepernick kneeling situation, which happened in 2016, where he took a stance for social justice. The NFL shield took a major hit, and of course, Kaepernick was blackballed from the league. So it seemed appropriate for the NFL to come up with a way to highlight social justice. And one of the things that the NFL did, they established in December 2017 a social justice committee of players and owners. Now, let's go fast forward. The George Floyd murder and all the turmoil surrounding his murder caused some more issues regarding social justice. And then we were in the middle of the pandemic also, and that's when the NFL, when they came back and resumed play in the, for some reason I can't remember. I don't think the NFL delayed coming back in the pandemic. I don't remember exactly, but the first NFL game played after George Floyd murder and the pandemic was on a Thursday night, and they sang "Lift Every Voice and Sing." And that's when that song first became part of the NFL. Now, obviously, the MAGA people and everybody else started complaining that the song was replacing the national anthem, even though the national anthem was sung that same day. They don't, they always sing the national anthem at the NFL game. So I don't know why they were complaining about that. But I think what was happening, many people complained, especially the MAGA people, because, Lift Every Voice and Sing is noted as the black national anthem. And it was a black national anthem because it was always played on black events when they had social events. That song was always played. I went for my first year, I went to Cheney State, and every single historical black colleges play Lift Every Voice and Sing. That's part of the national anthem. They play that song at every black college. And it is very meaningful. It's a very powerful song if you listen to the words. Of course, it means a lot to Black America. But it's not going to replace the national anthem. Now, Spitface, I didn't know national anthem was a drinking song. I got to remember. I thought for some reason, I thought the national anthem was created through the Fort Henry in Baltimore? I thought that's when it was created. Wasn't there a war or something going on? I can't remember. I got to look that up, but that was kind of interesting, what you said. But, at the Super Bowl, they started...
Scott Fitzgerald wrote that song in a bar as he was looking at cannon fire.
Cannon fire, okay.
Right, and they were like, "Oh, say, could you see?" Like drinking. Not.
All right, thank you. It was in Baltimore. It was in Baltimore because I know that was that. They got a tour there to go see the site where he wrote the song or something like that. Maybe that's where the cannon was fired. Was from Baltimore. Anyway, moving along. As far as the song, and it started to be sung at the Super Bowl, and you always remember, too, there's 3 songs that they sing at the Super Bowl. Lift Every Voice and Sing now, but they sing America the Beautiful, and they sing the national anthem. So this year, Andra Day is going to be singing the Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I don't know who's singing Oh Beautiful, but I'm sorry, Babyface. I love Babyface, but his version was not the right person singing that song.
You have to kind of work. You have to kind of work to mess up America the Beautiful.
Well, he didn't sound good last year singing that song. Babyface got a voice for pop and R&B singing, but not for singing "Oh Beautiful." It just did not. It just did not come out too good. That's all I'm going to say. I'm looking forward to what's her name, Andra Day singing. She got a powerful voice. So I'm looking forward to her version. But, I'm glad they playing the song. It's for social justice, and that's why it was part of the Super Bowl festivities. And you got to say something. You have to say it. Either that committee had something to do with, or Jay-Z, because then Jay-Z's in control of the Super Bowl activities. So, kudos if Jay-Z had a lot to do with it, too. So, anyway, that's why we've been getting great Super Bowl halftime performances, because ever since Jay-Z took over, you notice the performances have been pretty much good. And my man Usher is performing at halftime today. So we'll see how it turns out. But, yeah, all the MAGA people, just shut up and sit down. All right.
And secretly enjoy. All right, First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Sheila Johnson plus Melvin Leonard on Shout Out Part 1. But it's going to be first Sheila Johnson.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe. To get a shout out from the panel, First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Melvin Leonard.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from Melvin Leonard out of Richmond from his hit album, From the Ghetto to Greatness. They say, quote, Melvin Leonard hails from the colorful southern city of New Orleans, Louisiana. His grandfather, Walter Manatade, played drums for Louis Armstrong. His mother, Mary Sterling Leonard, played the honky-tonk blues piano in church, along with having a superb velvet voice. Melvin grabbed a pair of drumsticks before he grabbed his first bottle. Really? And he has been pounding out rhythms for as long as he could remember. All right, DJ, let's hear 369.
369, the goose drink wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. The line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to heaven on a little rowboat. Watch out, watch out for what you see. Watch out for what you see. 369, the goose drink wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. The line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to heaven on a little rowboat. Watch out for what you see. Watch out for what you see. You better stop that, stop your lying to me, so you can find out for what you see. You better stop that, dropping your eyes on me, so you can find out what you see. Watch out for what you see. Watch out for what you see. better stop that talking to me, so you can find out what you see. You better stop that dropping your eyes on me, so you can find out what you see. Watch out for what you see. Watch out for what you see.
Okay. That's it? That was quite short. But, you know what? Face, quite interesting. I'll give it a shout out. It was quite interesting. So he, you know, the singing wasn't that superb, but, you know, he's from New Orleans, so I'm going to give him a shout out. All right,
he's getting the New Orleans shout out.
They had that little. It had a lot of the New Orleans vibe music, the way it was played and everything. You know, New Orleans have a different type of music. We ain't talking about bounce music and Big Frida type of music. You know, they got their own style with that type of music, but they do have that jazz type of style that I hear in the song. So I'm going to give it a shout out. Are you hitting the mute or are you shouting it out, Spitface?
Yeah, well, I'm going to shout out my man Melvin Leonard, too. You know, he had the kind of sound that you go out, you want to have a cocktail or two with your little cutie pie, and you know, you don't want no riff-raff and all that old stuff. You just want to have a nice little evening and, you know, maybe step on the dance floor. Get my man Boogie, and I like some.
All right, so he's getting 2 shout-outs. All right.
Yeah, I'm shouting out the brother, not just because he's from New Orleans.
Okay. If you like what you heard from Melvin, check him out at melvinleonard.weebly.com and Old Grumpy Radio. And on part 2 of shout-out, we'll be featuring a track from... Now it's Sheila Johnson's turn. Okay. Speaking of turn, is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
They call him Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
All right, it's time for Flip It. But we do want to make sure that folks know that no dolphins were injured in the production of this segment. Well, I host made the point that they have flipped the script and defend the opposing view. The Lakers are 9th in the Western Conference at this point in the season. Should their fans be concerned? The fans. The Lakers have shown they can scrap to get in the playoffs and then turn it on. No worries. First Lady, I was looking at this and what it, in some ways, the Lakers in some ways remind me of the Bulls, you know, and of the Bulls with Michael Jordan. And there was a point when out of those 6 rings where the Bulls and the regular season, now they play well, but the drive to have the best record going into the to the playoffs got replaced with the, hey, get through the regular season, and then when we get to the playoffs, that's when the real season starts. So we don't want to be last place, the last team in and stuff like that. But all we got to do is get in, and we'll make your home court our home court. But see, the Bulls had it like that. The Lakers, they don't have that 6 going for them. But they've shown over the last couple of seasons that, hey, let us get in the playoffs, and then we start beating up on everybody. Now, we may not make it to the big dinner, but hey, let y'all do all the battling to have the best record and all of that. So I go Laker fans. The regular season, other than they get in the playoffs, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. But when they get in the playoffs, can they get to the big dinner? First Lady, defend.
You're right. That sums up the Lakers. The Lakers are an enigma. You don't know which team will appear. The worst version of them was when they, after they played in the play-in tournament. I mean, LeBron wanted to win that play-in tournament, so he gave his all to win it, and that was the worst version. But now they are currently the best version of themselves, because lately they've went on a 4-2. They was 4-2 on this recent road trip. They call it the Grammys road trip, and they have won 6 out of the last 10 games. The Lakers have had so many injuries this year. Gabe Vincent was their free agent signing. He hasn't played, and hopefully he'll be back before the end of the season. Their defensive specialist, Jarrett Vanderbilt, he's also been injured. So, like you said, the Lakers are a team that is not built for the regular season. They are built for the playoffs. So as long as they stay within the top 10 in the Western Conference, they can get to the playoffs. Now, it may not be as easy as it was last year, but they definitely can get there because, they got to go through the play-in tournament. But you know what? They like those play-in. I mean, that's the in-season play-in tournament they won. But now they got to go through the play-in tournament for the playoffs. And obviously, they like those type of things. One win. It's like the college playoffs. One game, and that's what you play for. And so that's what they like. And they have the team to do it because if Anthony Davis plays, and he has been doing quite well this year. He has not been really injured a lot. LeBron at his age is still going strong, and it seems like they didn't want to get rid of D'Angelo Russell for the playoffs. I mean, I'll get rid of him for the trade deadline, but he's been balling the last couple of weeks, so that's the reason why they kept him. So now, this team is really the team has really come rounded into form, let me say that. And I think they're going to do a playoff push. And fans, hey, you guys don't have any worries because the Lakers will be there. And to be honest with you, I do not know any team that's ahead of the Lakers that would want to play the Lakers in the playoffs, okay? They don't want to play them in the playoffs. The key is they got to maintain that top 10 spot in order to even have a chance to get to the playoffs. That's all I'm saying, Space.
All right, okay. Well, this is flipping where we flip the script and defend the opposing view. In the past, Laker fans could rest assured LeBron and the boys would flip the switch after the All-Star break. But the West ain't the same. Laker fans need to start worrying. First Lady, the power in the West has changed, And last year, LeBron and the boys, I'm going to say they had a little bit of luck. And one, they were able to use the play-in tournament to get their act together. And they were able to overwhelm a lot of, I'm going to say, teams that needed something. Whether it was experience or a player, they were able to capitalize on all the holes in the other teams that really are building their power up in the West. This year, it ain't going to be like that. This year, it's not going to be, well, we'll make it to the play-in for the playoffs and get that momentum going. This year, the only way they make it is they got to be in the top four. They got to be a top 4 team out of the West, because in that act, the difference between them and the Bulls is that one, the Bulls were on their path to 6 rings, but the other thing is that the Bulls didn't play to be the best team during the regular season, but they wanted to make sure they were in the top 1, 2, 3. Because they were like, look, we may go on the road here and there, but we want to be at 1, 2, 3, so we're getting some home court advantage. And this year, like I said, the Lakers were actually a big surprise. But the Joker and company and other teams have gotten just a little bit better. And some of them holes that they had that the Lakers were able to exploit in the playoffs ain't going to be there for them. So Laker fans, you need to start worrying. If they're not in a top 4 position, no dinner. First Lady, defend.
Well, the Lakers put so much attention in winning the in-game tournament that they kind of have become to the point where they're just tired and they use so much energy. Now, they have been playing well lately, but they are still far behind the 6th spot. So you have them going to the 4th spot. I have them just trying to get to the 6th spot, because I think if they had to go through a play-in tournament again to get to the playoffs, I just don't think they're going to get it. I don't think they're going to get it, and the reason why I don't think they're going to get it, because there's just too many teams that are better than them, and they are really so far ahead of them. I mean, right now the Lakers are 3.5 games behind the 6th spot and 3 games behind the 7th spot. And the problem is there are those good teams ahead of them. The Suns are in 6th, the Pelicans are in 7th, and the Mavericks are in 8th. I mean, these are good teams. And the Lakers really didn't improve themselves in the, just coming out of the trade deadline. I mean, I really thought they could have made they could have gotten somebody to help them. I still think they need center backup, even though Jackson Hayes has been playing real well. Right now, I just think these teams are so far much better than the Lakers. I mean, I don't see the Suns falling. I mean, the Pelicans. I mean, the Mavericks got better in the trading deadline. They added P.J. Washington and Gafford from Washington. So they address all of their needs. And the Pelicans did too, and the Suns did also. So, now the teams ahead of them are the Kings and the Thunder. The Thunder has been slipping a little bit lately, but I just don't see them completely falling off the rails and not doing well. So the Lakers really have a tough battle to try to get into a spot that will allow them to succeed. Now, you say the 4th spot. To me, I just think they need to be able to get into the playoffs to be able to play a team. Now, if they got to go through the play-in tournament, I'm sorry, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. So, I mean, there is a lot of issues for the Lakers and the Lakers fan. And unfortunately, they need to start worrying. And one thing, too, we don't know how long Anthony Davis is going to go the rest of the season without breaking down, because you know he always breaks down anyway. And, of course, LeBron.
You going to talk about street clothes like that.
Yeah, well, you know, street clothes hasn't been in street clothes that many times this year, but just wait for it. He's going to be in it shortly. But anyway, they've been running him ragged, so we'll see. But, yeah, the Lakers fan, you guys got a lot to worry about, All right, Spitface, over to you.
Well, First Lady, great defense, but we're going to continue with a little more flip it. Back to you, First Lady.
All right. Well, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but outside of the Chiefs and the 49ers, who had the best season? The Houston Texans or the Detroit Lions? Panel defend. You go from the bottom to playing in the divisional games with a rookie coach and quarterback, and let me read that again. Rookie coach and quarterback, you had a hell of a season. The Texans had the better season. All right, Spitface, defend.
CJ. Rookie of the year, CJ. And now, some may feel that I might be biased because I'm in Houston. But the Texans had, when you go from having the number 2 pick in the draft. Now, you do not get the number 2 pick in the draft because you had a stellar season. You get the number 2 pick because you were crap. And we're trying to help your team, kind of build on back up. Well, one, you go out and win the division. Straight up. You don't went from the bottom in your division to winning the division. And then you go out and win a playoff game. And when you lose to the team with the best record in your conference. Now, given that the expectations was that a good season would have been if they had 4 wins. 4 wins. Instead of 4 wins, you end up with a winning season, and you were a winner in the playoffs your first season out. D'Amico, D'Amico, hey, darn near coach of the year. The only thing that I'll say that really, I'm looking at Detroit. I'm going out Detroit. Now, I get the history, but they were like a good team last year. Not a great team, but they were a good year and competitive. They had a good year and they were competitive. And the year before that. So, it ain't like Detroit has been some kind of straggler. And they had to scrape their way from the bottom. No, they had competitive teams. They're doing a hell of a lot better than the Chicago Bears. Let's look at it. And gotta give them some kudos and stuff. But because people were surprised they did so well, doesn't mean they really had a better season. The future is real bright for them Houston Texans. And given where they started, they had the better season. There's even their loss to the Ravens did not leave a bad taste in their mouth because they weren't supposed to be there. This was like, man, what we doing in this kind of game? So they did well. First Lady, defend.
Well, of course it was the Texans. They definitely had a better season than Lions because no one expected the Texans to, number one, win their division, right? They won their division. Number two, they won a wild card game. Nobody expected them to win, even to get to the playoffs, let alone win a wild card game. Yes, they didn't win the divisional game. They lost to the Bills, but no one expected them to even be in the playoffs. And the main reason nobody expected them because, A, they did have a rookie coach, and they had a rookie quarterback. I mean, this is unheard of for that to happen. So you have to believe that the Texans, I mean, they definitely had the best season. Whereas the Lions, they had an experienced quarterback, and they just missed the playoff last year. I mean, I don't want to say they just missed it, but they were on a roll last year because they started the season off bad, and then I think they had won they won a lot of games at the end of the season. And, so people were very excited about the Lions this season. People expected the Lions to win the playoff. Matter of fact, a lot of pundits had picked the Lions to be in the Super Bowl. That's how their expectations were. And nobody was thinking even about the Texans being even in the playoffs, let alone win the wild card game. And it's the Texans, definitely, and they could have easily won. Well, no, I don't think they could have easily won against the Bills, but, all the good things come to an end. But the Texans definitely, because of where they were, they started at the bottom and now they're here. Started at the bottom and now they're here. They have arrived, and their expectations will be different next season for sure. But for this past season, of course, the Texans, man, they had a hell of a season. All right, this is Flip It. We're going to flip the script, panel defend. Detroit Lions playoff games and the NFC Conference Championship. The boys from Motor City had a better season. Spitface defend.
Well, let's see. When was the last time the Detroit Lions went to the NFC Conference Championship game? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. I'm going in my lifetime. I had to check, but it has been so long. Now I'll give it that. The Texans went. Did from the worst to darn near the best, and that is remarkable. I give them that. But the Detroit Lions have been perennial losers. Perennial. And couldn't buy a break with $1 million bill. They just couldn't buy a break. For they had better expectations than the Texans, of course. But really they had the better year. Because they did get to their conference championship. And if it hadn't been for some rookie coaching from a coach who ain't a rookie, they could be in the Super Bowl. Because they had a shot, but they had the better season. Because one, they had the better record. And two, they got to their conference championship. And now my Texans fans, y'all got it. Hey, look at our scenario. But it is about the wins and the losses, and the record says who you are. And the Lions have a lot to build on, just like the Texans. So I'll just say that competitively, the Lions had the better season. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Well, yeah, I agree with you because the Lions went further in the playoffs than the Texans. But you got to put everything in context. Yes, the Texans had a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback, but overall, the Texans have been going to the playoffs in the 2000s, 2020, 2018, 2019. They've been making the playoffs. They've always pretty much have done well with their division. I mean, it is a very weak division, but you know, they definitely have been getting there as far as the playoff. Detroit, you had asked last time they won a conference. Forget about conference title. The last time they won a playoff game was 32 years ago for Detroit Lions. Last time they won a playoff game was 1990. Oh, actually, no. The last time they were, 1992. 1992. That was the last time they won a playoff game. And that's 32 years ago. That was 32 years ago. I mean, that was a long time. It was, and the last time they
you said that was first thing you said. You had to think about that, man. 32 years.
Yeah, you remember they had the if I'm not mistaken, I believe they had the longest drought of any team in the 4 leagues as far as making it to the playoffs. I believe that was their drought because they replaced. Now the Miami Dolphins are in that category, and I think I'm gonna go back and double check that. But I for some reason I heard that it was the longest time that any team has made it to the playoffs. 32 years. 1992 is a long time, and
my waistline looked different.
I think we all look different in 32 years. I mean, and we don't need to talk about the last time that they made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, but anyway, and to win a championship playoff game, I mean, it's been years, so we didn't even go back that far. But Detroit Lions definitely, I mean, they've brought excitement back to Detroit. You know, Detroit had gone through so many problems economically, and the team has brought things back. You know, you got Eminem rooting for them in the stands, and you know, it's just one thing. It's so much excitement in Detroit. I mean, they definitely had the best season because it's been so down. You know, I mean, think about it. 1992. That's a long time ago. that was in the decade of the 90s and barely in the 1990s decade. So they almost went to, 32 years, 3 decades without winning a playoff game, actually even being in a playoff game. So it's no, I don't think it's actually winning a playoff game because I believe they did get to a playoff game with Matt Stafford, if I'm not mistaken. So, but he's had so many bad years. I think they only went to 1, but winning a game is 22 years. So I have to give it to Detroit. They are definitely the team that has had a better year, the better season, because they brought excitement back to the Motor City. The Motor City, which was one of the best cities when it came to the NFL franchise, but they just been so many bad years there. So we're kudos to the Detroit Lions. They definitely had a better season. All right, Spit Face. I don't know why I'm having a speaking today. Spit Face, please take us to break.
That Super Bowl excitement got your tongue tied.
Got my tongue
on the
tied.
Other side,
yes.
You can't wait to get to them picks. On the other side of the break, we have a performance from Sheila Johnson, not to be mistaken with Sheila Jackson Lee, on Shout Out Part 2. Please, pretty please, stay tuned.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. We have a performance from Sheila Johnson from Tyler, Texas, from her hit album, He's Been Good to Me. They say Sheila is an up-and-coming gospel recording artist. She wants to spread the good news of God, our Lord and Savior. What the world needs is love and kindness towards one another. She has been on major charts for consecutive weeks. Oh, okay, so she's moving up. DJ, let's hear the title track from her album, He's Been Good to Me.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, he's been good. So good. He's been good. So good. He's been good to me. All of my life, my God's been watching over me. Whether at home or when I was running in them streets, He kept me safe from harm, even when I knew I was doing wrong. It's His marvelous mercy that He gave to me. He's been good, started me on my way. So good. Turned my dark clouds into day. He's been good. Oh yeah, so good. He's been good to me. Woke me up early this morning in a great state of mind. I should have been dead, but He allowed me a little more time. His amazing grace is sweet to taste the savor. He sent His Son, the perfect one, as my Savior. He's been good. By His grace I am free. So good. Wrapped His arms around me. Yeah. He's been good. Yeah. So good. He's been good to me. He's been good. Started me on my way. Yeah. So good. And my dark clouds into day. He's been good. Oh yeah. So good. He's been good to me. He's been good. By His grace I am free. So good. Wrapped His arms around me. Yeah. He's been good. Yeah. So good. He's been good to me. He's been good. Started me on my way. Yeah. So good. Time my dark clouds into day. He's been good. Oh yeah. So good. He's been good to me.
He's been good. Well, First Lady, what was Sheila Johnson good to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout it out. I'm gonna definitely shout it out. I liked her voice. Soulful. Gospel music, like gospel music. So yeah, I'm gonna shout it out. I'm gonna give Sheila Johnson a shout out. All right.
Well, Sheila, I'm going to give a track a shout out, and the sax guy was pretty good too. Now he could have been better, but he was pretty good. I'm gonna give him a little love there. All right, now that's the end of shout out. If you like what you heard from Sheila Johnson, check her out at hype-internationalrecords.com. That's hype-internationalrecords.com and on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right. It's time for the last picks of the season. Who will win the crown? The Super Bowl, 58 picks are going to be in. All right, let's remind the audience where we currently stand. And where we currently stand, I'm ahead with 107.15 million points. Spitface is second with 103.2 million points. Dizzy Mac is in the red at minus 65.55 million points, but who knows? We got some heavy bets coming up here and some heavy points. And actually, let's get to the picks. And I was a little surprised. I thought when we see some more prop bets about, those stupid prop bets, what color is the Gatorade? How long the national anthem's going to be sung for? You know how it goes. They have those crazy prop bets. All right, let's go to winners and losers category. The Chiefs versus the 49ers. It's worth 100 million points. Woo! All right. I am going to pick the Chiefs. I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Spitface, who do you have? Because I got to get Dizzy Mac's picks. Well, actually, let me see. Go ahead. Who do you have, Spitface?
Well, it really tough. It made me feel like the old Patriots days where, you just hate to go against Tom Brady. But I'm going with the 49ers. I'm going for the Legend of Purdy.
All right, you're going for the Legend of Purdy. All right, Dizzy Mac also is going for the 49ers. Okay. Well, last time we had this happen before, I picked the Chiefs. You guys picked the Bills. And guess who won? So we'll see. The 49ers, this one was a tough one. And I'm going to admit, I could have easily picked the 49ers, but you want to know what? I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. All right, let's get to some of these prop bets, over, under, and push. And they are worth 15 million points. Christian McCaffrey, 33 receiving yards. Over or under? All right. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface, what do you have?
Over.
You have over. Ooh, I'm going to go with, I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be running more than, well, you know what? I'm going to go with under. I think he's going to be running more than he is going to be receiving passes. All right, the next one. George Kittle's 2 touchdowns. Spitface, what do you have?
Push.
Push? I have under. Dizzy Mac has, let me see. Dizzy Mac has under also. I just think Kittles is more of a setup person versus a one that gets them in the touchdown. So anyway, Travis Kelce's 2 touchdowns. I am going to go with under. I think he had 2 touchdowns last game, but I'm going to go with that. I just don't see the 49ers letting Kelsey get 2 touchdowns. They're going to be 2 people on him. The other receivers are going to have to beat the Chiefs. All right. Dizzy Mac also has under. Spitface, what do you have?
Under.
Okay, you also have under, so I think you're in agreement. In agreement with that. Asayo Pacheco, is that how you say it? I don't even know why I can't talk today.
Isaiah.
Lord, Isaiah Pacheco, 50 rushing yards. All right. Who is this? This one is on. Dizzy Mac has over. What do you have?
Under.
Really? Oh no, I have him over. I definitely have him over because that's, to me, the only way the Chiefs are going to beat the 49ers. They have to run the football. So you have under. Dizzy Mac and I have over. I don't know if this is a good thing. I'm agreeing with Dizzy Mac with somebody who's in a negative 65 million points. All right. Okay. That's interesting. All right. Christian McCaffrey, 50 rushing yards. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go over also. Dizzy Mac has over. That seems like a no-brainer. All right. Rashid Rice, 40 yards receiving. I am definitely going over. That's been Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target. Dizzy Mac has over. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with under.
Okay, you're going with under. All right. Debo Samuels, 70 yards rushing.
Receiving,
70 yards receiving. Dizzy Mac has over. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with over.
You're going with over. I'm going to go with under. Everybody was talking about Debo, but 70 yards, I'm going with under. Okay? I just feel, both teams need to run the ball, to be honest with you, to win. I just feel both teams needs to run the ball to win. All right. This Spitface, Brock Purdy, 2 passing touchdowns.
Over.
You have over. I have push. Dizzy Mac has over. Patrick Mahomes, 3 passing touchdowns. All right. I have under. Dizzy Mac has under. What do you have, Spitface?
Under.
Under. Okay. The next one is optional. First quarter. No. I'm sorry. The next one is not optional. I'm sorry. This one we have to do. Okay. Combined first quarter score, 10 points. Whose turn is it? I'll do Dizzy Mac. Combined first quarter, 10 points. Dizzy Mac has over. What do you have, Spitface?
I'm going with under.
I know, that's a lot, the first quarter. Combined points, 10 points. I'm going to go, You know what? I'll go with over because I can see both teams scoring a touchdown in the first quarter. So if they score a touch, it was either an over or a push. That's how I wanted. Part of me wanted to say push too, but I'm gonna go with over. I'm gonna go with over because it's a possibility if both of them score. All right. So 10 points. Okay. Now we come to the $100 million optional point. $100 million. What is it? A missed field goal. Will somebody have a missed field goal? And let's get to Dizzy Matt took the option. He said yes. So let's start off with him. He said yes.
Okay. I'm going to pass on the option. And part of that is the only way there would be a missed field goal would be if they are kicking deep. And because it's not like weather is going to be a factor. Would be if they had to kick deep. Yeah. And if they had to kick deep, really had to kick deep, that's kind of showing that somebody is really behind. And I don't think that would be the case. I think it'd just be a tight game. We ain't seeing those 60-yarders and all that stuff. Mm-mm.
Well, you know what? I know. You kind of convinced me. I just, the points is, but you know what? Let me just put it this way. I'm going to put it this way. It's too much to risk. I actually, if I remember last week, we had combined 2 missed field goal, I think it was, and I had said over or 1 miss. I think it was 1 miss. I can't remember. I said over, and there was one. It was only 1. It should have been. I should have said push. But see, this one is either yes or no. So I'm going to say I'm a pass. I'm a pass also. Since you pass, I pass.
Yeah. If you're 65 in the hole, you might go with the option.
Exactly.
Because if you can win that one, win the winner of the game, that's $200 million. You out the hole. You back in competition.
I tip my hat off to you, right? That's true.
I ain't risking it.
I hear you, Spitface. I hear you. All right, so it's all for the marbles, and we'll see how everybody does with their picks. All right, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
Taylor Swift and Kelsey.
That was your top story last week. You still watching Taylor Swift? Yeah. Well, she made it back.
I'm a fanatic.
She made it back from Japan. They say she took a private jet, flew 12 hours just to get back. She landed in L.A., so now she's already probably there in Vegas. So Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl. So obviously my big story to watch this week is the aftermath of the Super Bowl. Everybody's going to be talking about the Chiefs or the 49ers, or both. Actually, they'll be talking about both of them. They're going to be talking about both of them. Actually, I'm very excited about this Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a very competitive Super Bowl. I believe Usher is really going to perform at halftime, and I really think it's going to be excellent, So they're trying to get Taylor Swift to perform with Usher. I think Taylor Swift said, I don't think so.
So after all of that, and I'm on tour, I'll pass.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift probably would be falling asleep during the game. I mean, you fly 12 hours back on a private jet. My goodness gracious. Well, it's better on a private jet than on a commercial jet. That's for sure. Again. Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl, and everybody should enjoy their Super Bowl. And please, 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 please be careful. I don't want anything to happen, unfortunately, like those friends that celebrated the Kansas City Chiefs game, okay? If you know what I'm talking about, I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, join us as we honor our veteran women on May 23rd, 2024 in Houston, Texas, and streaming live on our favorite devices. To learn more, please visit honorourveteranwomen.com. That's honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at bras-panties-and-sports.com and our Facebook page, BP and Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports, and enjoy your Super Bowl parties. See you next week.